Hi friends! In this video, we're going to go through Learning Target 321, which is a review mostly, and this is on performing operations on polynomial expressions, specifically addition, subtraction, and multiplication. Division is going to be a separate video at the end of this class. So whenever we're dealing with polynomials are basically just expressions with variables, and they have different exponents typically. And the one thing you want to keep in mind is that all of our answers should be in standard form. So we want to make sure that we're in standard form for our polynomials. And that is in order from highest, oh my goodness, if I could spell, highest exponent to lowest. So whenever you do any of these operations, you just have to make sure the largest exponent comes first. So we kind of went over this when we did complex numbers last unit, so this should be familiar. But with both addition and subtraction, all you're going to do is you are going to either add or subtract your like terms. And I like to kind of make a little symbol underneath all my like terms so that I know what goes with what. I also typically do this in order. So like my highest exponent in any of these is the 10. So that's going to be the first thing. Then my next highest exponent are these 2's. So that's going to come second. And lastly will be these A's. That's going to come third. So coming first is this. It has no other friends. So I'm just going to bring that down. And then I like to cross things off as I go, just so I know I've used everything. My squareds, I have 5 plus -1, which is 4 a squareds. And then 4 plus -15 is -11a. And there we go. Just double check it's in standard form. So this should be in order from highest exponent to lowest, and we are good. So that's addition. Subtraction is super similar, but we're just subtracting our like terms instead of adding them. So I'm going to start by underlining my like terms, highest exponent to lowest. So my first thing will be these b to the thirds, and second will be my constants. So now I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I'm subtracting as I do this. So with subtraction, I like to do one of two things. I like to either use my calculator, or I like to change this to an addition symbol, which I'll show you in a second. So if I just want to subtract them, I'm doing -4 minus 10. So I get -14 b to the thirds. Then I have 10 minus -8, which gives me 18. So now also remember with this subtraction, you can also change this to an addition problem by just adding a line, so changing that to a plus, and then changing the sign of everything that comes after. And you'll get the exact same answer. So if I change it like this, then I would have gotten -4 plus -10, which gives me that -14, and 10 plus 8, which gives me that 18. So whichever way makes sense to you for subtraction is fine with me. If you're going to just leave it as a subtraction symbol, make sure you're really careful with double negatives. Okay, so that's addition and subtraction. Now multiplication. The only thing you really need to remember is that we add our exponents when we are multiplying. So let's go ahead and do that. I like to use the box method when I multiply, but you could also distribute. That's fine with me. If I use the box, I'm just going to line up my terms on the top and the side, and I'm going to multiply to get the inside. So 9 times 4 gives me 36, and then I have 1x here and 2 here, so I have x to the third. Then 10 times 4 gives me 40, 2 x's here, 2 x's here, that gives me x to the 4th. Negative 9 times 9 gives me negative 81, and I just have 1x. And then 10 times negative 9 gives me negative 90, and I have x squared. So whenever you multiply x's or variables together, make sure you go ahead and add those exponents. So now I'm going to pull this out of the box, and I need to be really careful to put it in order. So I want to put it in highest exponent to lowest. So my highest exponent is this 40. Then I have this x to the third, so I have plus 36x to the third. Then x squared. Then x. And I always just double check one more time, so I have x to the 4th, x to the 3rd, x squared, and x, and I am good. So what you need to do right now is you need to do these practice problems. So pause the video, do these practice problems, and then you can unpause to see the answers, or you can check the answer key, whichever works best for you. All right, here are the answers. Make sure you're careful when subtracting these double negatives. So for this one, you would get 10 minus negative 2, which is 12, and 9 minus negative 10, which is 19. Over here, you should do the distributive or the box method. You'll end up combining your a's to get negative 16 in the middle. Distribute here. And then over here, you have multiple steps. You should distribute your 4h and then combine any of your like terms. All right, next thing you are going to do is you are going to go to the next video for the 3.3.1 notes.